Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Bonnie and Greg Dixon here for Living a Life You Love. And our topic today is cooking and eating for living a life you love. Well, why would you cook if you couldn't eat it? Anyway, so Bonnie, you have quite a bit of a love for cooking,
I
the
do.
joy of cooking, and why don't you tell us your story?
Well, as a little girl, I was the oldest child of five. And I kind of took it on. My mother wasn't really she didn't really enjoy cooking. She could cook. She didn't really enjoy it. Busy woman. And so I just took it on and I particularly like baking, but going forth in my younger years, I started writing a food column for a local paper, and that was so much fun because people would back in the day write me a letter and ask for a recipe, and the local library had over 1,000 cookbooks, and then I had about 250 over the years. And someone say, well, can you find this recipe or that recipe? And back in the day, because I started it in 81 to 94, it was more of the 70s recipes or 60s or 50s recipes. So as time went on, I worked for a health food store, and so my recipes got healthier and healthier and healthier. It was really funny. Some lady wrote me a letter, says, "Enough with the tofu already."
Enough with the tofu. Yeah, yeah.
But
You were before your time.
I was ahead of my time. Working for the health food store in 1992, we opened a vegan cooking bar. And it was delicious food, and just nobody got it. They didn't. The concept didn't go over well, so we had to close it down. But I taught a class then, self-taught, of vegan cooking with another gal, and we had so much fun. And then fast forward again, I can read a cookbook like a novel. And I usually look up a recipe, whatever I'm cooking for the day. I'm looking for one right now for a barbecue pork recipe.
Yeah.
And so, with saying that, uh, I love to eat as well. And then I love to eat out as well. And when I'm eating out, I'm always saying, could I make this recipe better? Or sometimes I've been very naughty and gone right up to a restaurant and said, you could make this better.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not very good. So I think food is a wonderful way to communicate with another person. Locally here, we have a new tea shop and coffee place and bakery. And I love to go there and just when you're connecting with another person over tea or a coffee, a little something to eat, it's just wonderful. It's called Valley Graze
Yeah.
here in this little town of Merritt. It was farmers markets people all got together and opened this restaurant.
Yeah.
Anyway, Greg, tell me a little bit about food for you.
Yeah, well, if well, for one, I like eating food. Sometimes says, what's it like working from home? Says, well, my commute is from my office to the refrigerator, and it shows. So yeah, so we when we travel, we like visiting new restaurants, diners, especially like diners. We watch the Food Network a lot, and Bonnie didn't mention, but she's bakes bannock for a local Kukuli Cafe, which is a First Nations cafe. And bannock is fry bread. I think that came from Scotland originally, but they've taken it to a new level here. They put all sorts of stuff on it, all sorts of make it. It's more like Tim Hortons donuts or Dunkin' Donuts or something like that with bannock, and it's good fun. So I was involved with a lot of food projects, urban
Mm.
farming projects, and food rescue. I did a lot of video projects related to food rescue, and things like using local produce, like the 100-foot diet, all that kind of thing. We know somebody who's got the perfect 100-foot diet. She grows tons of vegetables and fruits and things in her backyard.
Mhm, mhm.
And the First Nations figure there's a lot of things edible in this area here. When we look at
Yeah.
it, oh my God, that's just scrubby. But for them, it's food.
Well, there's a local berry that I love to pick, but you have to get it just right. And it's
Saskatoons.
Saskatoons, and I can make a pie out of it that's just delicious. And the thing is, what I honor, and we're going to do another show on gardening and why it's beneficial to go along with this cooking, is if you can get it local, if you can get it fresh from a farmer's market, or if you're able to grow it and freeze it or can it, it can be so much better than the store bought. But I'm letting most people know that most people don't garden. But this year we're going to have another little pot gardening where we put it
You got to
into
grow
pots.
pot?
No, we're
No,
going to put it in
pots. Stuff container gardening.
container gardening and try that again. I haven't been real successful yet, but this year I'm already starting my green onions inside this year.
Inside this year, yeah.
But back to cooking. And when I went to Italy, that was my goal in 2006 to go and enjoy the culture, the food. And I took cooking classes there myself. It was so much fun. When you learn other cultures, it's super good for your brain, good for your taste buds to try other flavors. So this one gal I know, her family, they choose a recipe a week, so that's 52 weeks of the year, from another country and cook that. And so I just say for cooking, try something new each week, a new vegetable, a new fruit, a new grain, not all at the same time, but just try something. This, haven't done a lot with quinoa. I mean, I have a really good recipe for a quinoa salad, but I bought a store-bought one that was a garlic one and it was very tasty. In fact, that's what I'll be having for lunch today. But quinoa, try all the different grains. You'll be surprised there's more than just brown rice and white rice. There are red cargo rices. There's black rice. There's the jasmine rice. There's basmati rice. Try them all. Give yourself variety. Why that's so important for cooking? You're also nourishing yourself with more minerals and more nutrients than just the same thing. Most of us only eat 20 foods. They're kind of locked in there. But I say expand. So when Greg says he likes to go to diners, he looks for the craziest thing on the menu. I mean, the craziest. One time we were up in Truckee, California, and we had chocolate covered bacon.
Chocolate covered bacon,
It was okay.
So I used to volunteer for Feast of Fields in Vancouver. So it's they have an event in the Okanagan, Vancouver, and Vancouver Island, and basically you spend a pretty big whack of money, get a napkin and a plate and a glass, and you go to sampling wine and food and things. And one of the ones was tempura bacon.
Oh,
And Gloria Makarenko, one of our local radio and television people was in front of me in the line. It was delicious. So
that's a little bit strange.
That's a little bit strange. Anyway, so we've had, sometimes we were down, I was in Nova Scotia one time. They had something on the menu. It was kind of weird, like chocolate nachos or something. And the waiter says, we don't have that. It's just on them. We won't sell it to you.
Well, the thing is to be open, be curious. My grandmother said something to me a long time ago. She said, she's since passed, but just try it once at least. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, you never know. And some things are easier than others. Sometimes it's a bit of an experiment. Like I like calamari. I tried cooking calamari one time, and it's really tough. So I've decided, well, I'll just find a restaurant that makes it.
Right. On the other hand, I love spanakopita.
Yeah.
And I actually found that my recipe is even better and much less expensive. That's the thing about cooking at home.
Yeah, and of all that Greek stuff, baklava.
Oh yeah, baklava.
Yeah, we need baklava tonight.
All right then.
All righty then. So anyway, we're just in the chat. What kind of food do you like to do? What do you like cooking? What you're whacking me? Oh, you got a. Bonnie's choking. She's not eating the right foods, obviously. Anyway, okay. So anyway, put in the chat what kind of food you like to eat and what kind of food you like to cook. I'm just going to say at our wedding we had a potluck, and everybody was to bring a dish that was part of their family tradition, and that worked out really well. We got a lot of variety. Of course, we were so busy we hardly had time to eat any of it. That's at most weddings, but it was fun. Anyway, just let us know in the chat what you like to do, what you like to cook, and what kind of adventures. And I've helped people publish books. We've published one cookbook, and there'll probably be more. And anyway, okay, Bonnie's Bonnie's got problems, so we're gonna head off. Thanks for joining us today. Talk to you later.